Am I the a-hole for laughing in my brother and Sil's faces when they demanded to use my credit card? Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for daily content. So I am 22, female. I don't have much knowledge about finances and stuff as I still live at home as I'm at university. I do however pay my parents about $300 a month rent, I pay my own phone plan, buy material stuff I want or need, pay out for other services like for music or whatever, and try to put as much as I can in savings whilst still keeping enough in my main account for day-to-day purchases. Currently, I am saving up for driving lessons and hope that if I pass decently, I can use some of my savings towards getting a car. I'm in my final year of uni, so I'll be done and able to work full-time when all this happens. I also decided to get a credit card so I can learn how to manage credit wisely and build some up. My credit score is good for someone of my age and circumstance, but obviously it's nothing great in comparison for other stuff. I should point out that at most I only plan on using this card with a total adding up to £100. I've stuck to that so far and only actually used it twice, with these purchases only adding up to £80, and I paid it off quickly. I do not plan on exceeding my limit anytime soon, as I've heard far too many horror stories of people just using their credit card too much cause it was handy and getting into debt. The only people I disclosed this to was my dad, as my mum has the tendency to blab to my brother and Sil, both 28. She happened to overhear us talking one day, and before I knew it, my brother and Sil got wind and asked me if they could use it. They both admitted they had debts burned on by excessive credit card use and thought that since I basically had nothing owed on mine, it was free money. I told them quite politely that I was really uncomfortable with that idea and that I would owe the money, and I can't magic up that kind of money. Things went quiet until a few days later they both turned up at the house. They were nice to start with, but basically started demanding I let them use the card, and they tried to manipulate my mother into guilting me into doing it. I got really angry, and when my brother said I owe it to them because they used to babysit me up until a couple of years ago, I laughed in their faces and walked out. When I came home, I learned they tried to manipulate my dad and he kicked them both out. My mother then tried and he told her to go too, and she is currently staying with my brother and Sil. The only person on my side is my dad, who tells me they're all trying to take me for a ride and they're trying to manipulate me cause I'm young and they think I'm vulnerable. My brother, Sil, and mum on the other hand think it isn't a big deal letting someone else use my card. It's really messing with my head, and I just want everyone to stop being in an argument. Am I the a-hole? NTA. Do not let them bully you into committing fraud. The only people to blame for their debts are themselves, and if you let them use your card, they'll rack up further debt. They won't be liable as it'll be under your name. They've stacked up the costs, so you'll be the one out of pocket, and that'll damage your credit score even further. I think having a set limit is really mature and the smart thing to do. Do not give in for the love of God just because you're young and don't know much about credit and finance. Your dad is right. They're trying to take advantage of you. Edit. I don't know why people are giving this comment so many awards, as it's literally common sense, but thanks anyway, I guess. Yeah, definitely. My parents used to be nosy as hell, so I had to hide things in a secret compartment behind my bookshelf. I'd recommend, if possible, getting a fake card and leaving it in a relatively findable place, then seeing what happens. Either nothing happens, or they realize that op's onto them, and most likely reconsider their actions. I've legit slept with all the money I've ever had. I knew my mom wouldn't take it, and my brother doesn't steal money yet, just belongings, but my mom's boyfriend? Anything for his pill addiction. So anything of value I hid, slept with, or slept right next to. I used to work in a call center that processed credit card applications. At least a couple of times a day I'd get someone who would call in to activate the card they just got in the mail, even though A, they had never applied for a card, and B, the card was made of cardboard. The card number was 4123, 4567, 8901, 2345, and printed on the card in big, bold letters was "This is not a real credit card." I still get the occasional plastic card attached to a promotion, fake plastic card, in the mail, but I'm in the US, so different credit issuing systems. I think usually it has something weird about it, like the card number is all OS, but if they're trying to quickly swipe it they may not look that closely at it. The other thing OP could do is get a prepaid Visa or some similar prepaid brand name credit card from a department store and only put $5, or whatever the minimum is, on it and leave that out as the bait card. You'd be out a little bit of money, but nowhere near what you would be if they got a hold of a real credit card of yours. You can call the CC company and say that you think your card information may have been compromised. Ask them if they will issue you a new card with a different number on it. This is not uncommon. Your original card will now be deactivated and put on a watch list for fraud. Don't tell anyone you have a new card. Talk to the CC people to see what security options they have and activate them. Mine sends me texts when it shows strange activity and asks me to confirm that I made the charge. Call and report this one missing, even though it isn't. They will send a new card to the same account but with a different number. Then leave the card out and see if it goes missing. LMAO. We know how this will end. You can call your credit card company, say you think a relative stole the number, can you please change the number, send me a new card and flag my account so they can't call and pretend to be me. Have it delivered to a FedEx store or something similar so mom can't intercept the mail. Then leave the cancelled one to be found. If they try to use it, it will decline. If Sil calls and pretends to be LAOP and get the new one, hopefully the fraud department figures it out quick. And if you got to this point, you probably need to lock your credit so they can't apply for new cards in your name. Not sure where OP is located, but if she reports the card stolen, the CC company will cancel it and send a new one. You can use the cancelled one as the fake card, as it will not work and can even inform you when/if used. OP is for sure NTA. There's a lot of advice on this thread about setting a trap for them. Do not do it. You don't want anyone having your personal data or even the name/address of the credit company that issued your card. Just sleep with your wallet in your pocket, and frequently check your credit report. You can even sign up for a credit monitoring service that will send weekly updates. Some credit cards also require authorization for purchases via a two-factor phone app. No need for a fake. Report the actual card stolen to the bank and they'll issue you a new one with new number on it. When you have the new one, just accidentally leave out the old one somewhere as bait. If they don't take it, no harm no foul. Hell hath be upon them if they're found fraudulently using a card marked as stolen. Also look into the credit card company to see if they have an app they can use to lock the card just in case it does go missing. Depending on the card, she can have an immediate email sent to her every time it's used. I have this on my credit cards. I also have a feature on the app that lets me lock it instantly if there's something suspicious. OP, if you have these features, utilize them. Otherwise, maybe look into a better, more secure credit card. Your family sounds toxic. I wouldn't put it past them to try something, maybe not now but in the future if you let your guard down. Also totally NTA. Hope some of this advice helps. You can lock your credit online with the 3 major bureaus. Set an alert on all credit cards so that you get a text every time it is used. Don't have to wait for a statement or look online to see it and can dispute it right then. Hopping on here to say contact your credit card company to see what kind of security measures they can set up if you haven't already. My credit card texts me every time a purchase is made online or exceeds a certain amount, and it's helped me address fraudulent purchases immediately twice now when my card was stolen. You can probably have it set to text or email you every time it's used, which can be annoying if you are using it all the time, but as you're responsibly building credit with a low limit and very controlled purchases, it might be worth it to have that kind of oversight. Some credit cards have ways for you to freeze the card immediately via an app or online account if it's lost or stolen. Make sure you know how to freeze your card should you need to. You are acting very maturely with money, and frankly it's good policy to never let anyone use your credit card. I only let my BF of almost a decade use mine when he's running errands for me, and although I would trust him if he needed to use it for himself, because he is responsible with his money and I can trust him, He doesn't need to use my card for himself because he's financially responsible in his own right. Do not let your family use your card. They can't be responsible with money, and that's the whole reason they want to use your card in the first place. If they were trustworthy with money, they'd never be asking. Stick with your dad for your support. Set clear boundaries with your mom. It is unacceptable of her to be putting pressure on you as well. And remember, no is a complete sentence. Oh, you're still here? Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out these videos for daily content. Okay, bye.